Hey traders, Tradius Trades here. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at this week, just from a variety of methods, COT and trend following. Show you what I'm looking to do and get involved with. So first of all, cocoa. Cocoa has been a setup market for COT longs for quite some time since back here, and it's had a good move up. And then since then, it's kind of pulled back and consolidated a bit. We still have a rising 50-day moving average. What I'm watching for is really this week is do or die for cocoa for me being bullish for the time being. Reason being is we got the 20 period moving average starting to slope down. If we see the bears take us down to last Wednesday's low, that would be a 20-day confirmed trend change for me. You got these two full range bars here from last week. Follow through the low of that would tell me we're in a full on 20-day downtrend. And I don't want to be looking for longs until we're in a confirmed 20-day uptrend for the COT bullish setup. So what would get me involved this week would be what happened last week was on Thursday we went up and then we closed down on Friday, getting very oversold. So this high to me is pretty important. Also this high here. So I'm anchoring a volume weighted average price to there. If we can see the bears, I guess in this case the bulls, get us up above these volume weighted average prices, these anchored volume weighted average prices, and we get some follow through. So it's the same concept I use for trend change on the moving averages. I apply to the VWAPs, anchored VWAPs, and see two full ranges above, and then get some follow through above the highest high of those two bars would give me the confirmation that the bulls have indeed taken back control, and I think that would be a nice opportunity to go long with a target of up here would be the first target, which would be around 96.50. So that's what I'm looking for on cocoa. As far as other active COT setups go, I'm really looking forward to getting long wheat this week, as crazy as that sounds, because it has been in such a strong downtrend. This front month, the September contract doesn't look as strong as the rolling contract. The rolling contract has the 200-day moving average kind of flattening out to slightly rising, and the 50-day is kind of flattening to slightly rising. All that being said, it's a COT setup market for longs. We had the full-on 20-day bullish trend change happen back here when that high got taken out. So what happened last week was we had this big pullback, got very oversold, and what is key to me is that this high is the high that caused the oversold condition. So it became a very important high. That's why I anchored the volume weighted average price there. And on Friday we saw the trend change, and basically we saw the bulls got the follow through there above the highest high of those two bars. So these two bars here above the volume weighted average price had the follow through. I like to see the follow through. It gives me confirmation the trend has indeed changed. So that means this low is important now. So I've anchored volume weighted average price to there. So what I'm looking for to start the week next week is hopefully we get a pullback in Chicago wheat. Chicago wheat pulls back into one of these or both of these volume weighted average prices, and I'll look to be buying strength above the highest high of the bar that comes back and trades into here, and then hold it for longs. I think first target would be up here at a 572.4, and then from there, I mean, this 200-day moving average is a decent target as well, but I'll be using the hourly chart structure to kind of trail my stops a bit more aggressively. So that's what I'm looking for on wheat. And crude oil, obviously with the Iran and Israel situation, has had a huge move up. This was a COT setup for longs all the way back here. It's finally had this big move. I unfortunately didn't participate in it because I was waiting for the 20 period trend change to happen. It didn't happen till this day right here, and as we can see, we didn't get any proper pullback that got oversold this since that happened, so I couldn't participate in it based on kind of how I like to operate. So now what I'm looking for is looking for a pullback. I'm just gonna have to pause my video here because I got a call coming in. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, where was I? I guess, crude has had a huge move. One question that's worth asking is, it's come a long way. So to get long up here maybe is a bit asking for too much. I mean, crude has rallied 25% since end of May. So that's a huge, huge move. But what I'm looking for is to just catch continuation of this move. There's the COT setup has not switched to being bearish. We're starting to see, obviously we're in a 20-day uptrend. The 50-day is starting to flatten and rise up. We're above the VWAP from this important anchored high. So this is this VWAP is anchored to the high of the year. So we're now above that. So the bulls are in control full on, and we're getting above that 200 moving day average, which is flat to rising now too. So I think basically oversold pullback should present nice opportunities. If we start the week and there's all sorts of bad news going on in the volume in Iran and Israel, I'm watching this hourly VWAP anchored to this high from last week. If we get some follow through above on the hourly chart by 2 full range bars above, and then we follow through, I think that'd be worth playing along. If this move just appears to continue, that's kind of what I'd watch for it to continue. So that's what I'm looking for in crude oil. That's the only other COT setup that's actually that's actionable right now. Now I'm going to bring us on over to some of the trend following trades that I think are decent for this week. First is short bonds, the treasuries, 30-year and the 10-year T-notes. We're in a downtrend, 50 and 200 both sloping down. I pulled the Fibonacci levels for this general swing, and we swung up into this kind of this golden pocket and rejected nicely, also from the 50 period moving average. So I think, to me, we've got a decent amount of follow through here that happened last week from these anchored volume weighted average prices to these lows, this low here and this low here. So had follow through the first one. You haven't quite had it through the one from this low, but I think basically I'm going to be looking for shorts on T-bonds. Same thing on the 10-year T-note. It's in a downtrend from both of the high time frame moving averages. We've kind of come into this key level on the Fibonacci levels. So basically looking to catch shorts. The first target would be down to these lows, just based on the daily chart. So shorts on the T-notes. Looking for longs in the S&P and the NASDAQ. So we got this pullback on Friday, started getting oversold on the %R. So that means the high that caused that oversold condition is important to me. So that's that high right there. So I think if the bulls can reclaim this H1 anchored volume weighted average price, I'll be satisfied with going long, because we still have the upsloping 50, upsloping 200, and upsloping 20. So clear trend, same kind of idea here on the NASDAQ. For currencies, the only ones that really closed very oversold last week were the pound and the New Zealand dollar. So pound is obviously clearly in a strong uptrend. We got actually, you know what? I'm looking at this here. It didn't really get oversold. Maybe New Zealand dollar did. Yeah, the New Zealand dollar got pretty oversold. Basically, currencies in general, like I'm anchoring volume-weighted average prices to the high of last week and want to see some follow-through. So we see the bulls came up and haven't got any follow-through yet. So to start the week, if we get something like this to start the week in currencies, and then we can trade through the high of those bars, then I think that'll be a nice long opportunity for, let's say, the British pound, and putting a stop below either right here, something like that, and then targeting an extension of this swing would be a move. If I can get my target shooter on here, it would take us up to around 137.59. So that's what I'm looking for in the pound. Now the crude. Taking a look at soybean oil and soybeans. They're both, if you're in my group, you know that they're both set up for shorts with COT and other fundamental indicators. However, that's very much a counter trend trade at this point, those COT setups. So last week we had some biofuel commitments from the U.S. government that came out very bullish. Soybean oil was up the limit here on Friday. So basically, from a trend following perspective, I'd like to look for longs in soybean oil. So we got the 200 sloping up, the 50 sloping up. So what that would look like is get some oversold pullbacks, pull the anchored volume weighted average price to the high that caused the oversold condition, and then wait for the bulls to take back control. So I'm looking for the same kind of concept here in soybeans, upsloping 50 and 200, uptrend. Just try to work that side of the market. Wheat is a COT setup for longs, and then here's, I explained earlier in the video, the rolling contract does look a little bit more bullish than the September contract. We've got the flat to rising 200, flat to rising 50, and of course the 20-day is in an uptrend that we've confirmed a couple weeks ago. So looking for longs, and Friday we started or finished the day Friday with some very bullish confirmation that the bulls are back in control. So hopefully get a start to the week, pull back, give an opportunity to get long, and we're going to go up to at least 558. As far as metals, all of the metals look really interesting. The only reason I don't have gold on this list right now is because gold hasn't really pulled back yet. If gold pulls back, I'll be watching to get long again. I'm already long gold last week, from last week. So still in that trade, but silver very bullish. So basically silver pulled back, got oversold here on the 4-period percent R. So I pulled a VWAP from that high. It's an important high. As we can see, we poked up above, closed above a few times. This is an example of why I think it's so important to wait for follow through. Like if you would have just bought this because it closed above, or any of these because they closed above, you would have got stopped out. So I think the follow through concept is, if you're going to incorporate VWAP into your trading, wait for the follow through to really give you a good confirmation. That means you maybe won't get the best entry, but it'll be a safer entry, lower risk. So again, just looking for the bulls to take back control of this. Until then, I won't be looking to get involved. Platinum, same idea. We're having a pullback here, very oversold. This is an important high now, so can the bulls take back control? If they do, I think it's worth a long, at least up to 1300.5. Palladium, same thing. We're pulling back, getting close to the 50% retracement of this swing here, getting very oversold. So this high that caused the oversold condition becomes very important. So can the bulls reclaim that? If they do, I think it's worth going long. Bitcoin here, still in a 250 period uptrend. The 20-day moving average starting to slope down. We haven't had the full follow through confirmation yet that I like to see to confirm that the trend has changed. But basically, we're getting oversold. This high, these highs here are important to me. If bulls can reclaim that, to me, I think it's time to go long Bitcoin. Same for this, whatever this altcoin is. It's got a really strong trend. That's why I've chosen to focus on it compared to Ethereum, which is kind of conflicted with the 200 slope down and the 50 up. I like this. This is just more strong as far as just like a clearly defined trend. So very oversold. Can the bulls reclaim this level? What most likely is going to happen is we'll close Sunday something like this, and then we'll have another poke down, and then this high here will become important because it'll cause a new oversold condition, and then we'll have an anchored VWAP kind of closer to the recent price to get us hopefully a better entry before a nice pop. And then feeder and live cattle, if you're in my group, you'll know that feeder and live are both set up for shorts. They have been for some time, but trying to short cattle has been a loser's game for a couple of years now. Such a strong bull market, no pun intended, but such a strong bull market. So what we've got here is a strong uptrend, the 50 and the 200 and the 20 all pointing up. So we're getting oversold here on the percent R, so that means this is an important high. If the bulls can reclaim this on feeder cattle, I think it's a good long opportunity to keep going long. And same idea for live. Live's interesting. We're coming down into the 50% retracement. We also have the 20-day moving average right here, so we have a lot of technical confluence for reversal. But again, I won't be getting involved till the bulls can take back control of this falling anchored VWAP. So those are the trades. A few COT setups that are fully active to look to work on, and then some of these more just trend following trades. Some pretty nice opportunities in the market, it looks like, this week, guys. So if you have questions about trend following or COT or anything, you shoot me an email at tradiustrades@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help you or get you into my Discord where we can chat about the markets actively. And if you found value here, you guys, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate all the support, and anybody that can take the time to like and share. I got a bit more extra love for you. Just kidding. But thanks for listening, you guys, and have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.